And that was muted. So welcome to June 17th, 2025. This is Heart-Centered Marketing. My name is Joey Ragona. Thank you for being here. I've got some cool stuff to share with you. I'm just looking over my notes here to make sure that we cover a whole bunch of stuff talking about pricing. Okay. And pricing is a big thing inside this online world because I used to be in the mindset of that I had to have a lot of low priced products in order to build a business. And lo and behold, I was incorrect about that because we don't need that. And if you're like me and you want a simple business, I believe it's best to have the higher end valued products, premium price products. The world likes to call it high ticket. I don't like to use those words. I don't even like to use the word low ticket, because that's focused on the actual product itself. And what we're going to talk about today is actually focusing on the dream client themselves and the achievement and what they get out of it from your program, your product, whatever it is you're doing. So if you're here live with me, let me know in the chat, which is hashtag live. Let me know there. And if you got a question, please put it in the chat. I cannot see anything from the Facebook group right now because I am using my iPad, or I will be using my iPad a little bit. So I apologize there. If maybe I can actually put it onto my phone. Let me try that. And maybe I can monitor a little bit on my phone. That would help, right? So let me do that. And give me 1 second to go to the Facebook group here. And then do a Facebook group. And here we go. So I can monitor this guy here. It's kind of weird when I hear myself talking there. All right. And okay, cool. Dan. All right, cool. I see you. I'm glad I went to the Facebook group because now I can see Dan. That is fantastic. Nice to see you here, Dan. Long time no see, my friend. Long time no see. Hopefully everything is working well for you. So if you have questions, let me know. Put them into the chat. I'm going to be looking down here every once in a while into my phone and seeing if there is something coming from the Facebook group. If not, the other ones I can see here on the screen here. So what I'm going to be focusing on today is all about pricing, and I'm gathering this information from a whole bunch of areas, including my own experience. But there's two books that I want to reference here that I highly recommend. The first one changed the game for me a lot, which was Someone Has to Be the Most Expensive. Why Not Make It You? That was a really good read. It still is a great read. I'm going to be referencing a couple things from there, and as well from $100 million offers from Alex Hormozi. And so I'll talk about a little bit about that, combining some information here with you and some mindsets hopefully will change the way that you think as well. And so the first thing that I want to talk about, actually, you know what? I have a quote here from Dan Kennedy. So Dan Kennedy, one of the kings of marketing ever, he has this principle. Now, I want to share this with you so it'll start you thinking maybe in a different way. There is no strategic benefit to being the second cheapest in the marketplace, but there is for being the most expensive. Dan Kennedy again. There is no strategic benefit from being the second cheapest in the marketplace, but there is for being the most expensive. And I find this happening all the time because you could price your product for whatever it is, $97, and somebody's going to be $87. Somebody's going to be $75. And it's a price war to the bottom. And so that's a big challenge between a lot of people. And so here's why I believe that, and I'm going to show you this. I'm going to prove this to you. Just stick around with me. And this is going to blow your mind when you see this. But if you think about this, that, getting a $50 customer is the same marketing as getting a $1,000 customer. And I know that if you hear that and you're only talking to $50 customers, it might sound like a dream. It might sound like that's impossible. And I used to think the same way, but it is absolutely true. And I'm going to prove it to you. So stick around for that. All right. This is one thing that I want to share with you. There's core philosophy behind why raising your price is the best move. Because if you're going to be the most expensive, but this is the caveat actually, if you're going to be the most expensive, you have to be good. This is not just about raising prices. So when somebody comes into my world, I'm coaching people, and I'm telling them to raise their price. It's not just, yeah, let's just raise your price because you could make more money with less customers and all that stuff. That's all great, but you can't just raise the price. You have to put in the effort in order to make it worthwhile and make it something where somebody is looking at the value and saying, this is a no-brainer for me. So when you have the most expensive thing on the marketplace, you get a better caliber of people, period. They just value your work because they know that when something is priced high value, it must be great. So this is going to also create more stability for you in the financial future when there are tough times, like when the business starts to decline a little bit or there's dips in the business. You can coast a little bit more because you have a healthy business. And this is what I want to share with you. This is what I want to draw out for you as well, because when you shift your focus to the high end and you have a healthy business, meaning that you make more profit because a $97 product or whatever, I'm going to pick on that one, and you have to run ads or you're working 24/7 on stuff. Really, what is the profit that you're making? Is it 10%? Is it 20%? That's high. Most people don't even make that. And so they're struggling always to keep money coming in because they need more leads, because they need to sell more things. Okay. This is how you break that constant hustle, is when you have high-end people coming in. Welcome, everybody. I see you. If you're in, actually, let me just go down here and check if there's anything coming in on the Facebooks. Not yet. If you want to comment live, hashtag live, let me know, or hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. Thank you for being here, okay? These are the other common obstacles that you can overcome, that you have to overcome with this mindset, is the fact that you have this mentality or this poverty mentality in business. You might looking at, because you're speaking to the market all the time that is used to spending less amount of money or getting discounts and all that. And so what that does is it leads to you undercharging. And this is where I was undercharging for a lot of the stuff. So the other thing is that when you move your price up, right, you're thinking that, well, I'm going to lose customers here. If you're speaking to the marketplace that is used to paying $97 or low dollars or whatever for products, yeah, you're going to lose customers or potential customers, but they're typically the ones that you need to lose. Those are the ones that you need to move off of your plate so you can make room for the higher customers. This limiting belief that you might have, I don't know if this is all true for you, let me know in the comments, but that customers just won't pay. And it's not just about raising the price, it's about moving away out of the market that you're currently speaking to and speaking to a new market. But remember, being the most expensive is not just about raising prices. You have to create extraordinary experiences or extraordinary experiences. These are not just transactions. They're not just, well, I'm charging more and you have to pay more. You have to put in your time and effort and make it extraordinary for your clients. This is the reason why, if you increase your price and you need less people to do this, you can spend more time interacting with people, making sure that their experience is massive and it's great. You build a reputation based on the quality and the excellence of what you do. When people ask me, well, I don't want to be on social media, I don't want to be in chats, or I don't want to be speaking to all my customers, I'm thinking, wow, then you're not really going to create this extraordinary experience, and no wonder people aren't paying you what you deserve. So I personally am still in conversations with all clients, with all potential clients. And that doesn't mean I'm on 24/7 chatting with people all day long and I'm just swamped with clarity calls and all this. No, it's a very limited amount of people that I'm speaking with, and these are not just sales conversations. Okay, these are real conversations that some of those lead into a sale, because this is, I'm going to quote now from $100 million offers, which is from Alex Hormozi, and he says this: the longer you delay the ask, the bigger the ask you can make. Now, think about what I just said. The longer you delay the ask, the bigger the ask you can make. So when I'm teaching anything in Atlas and we're talking about using the message navigator or having conversations, and people say, well, how long does it take to convert somebody? My answer is really, I don't know. But the more you spend time helping that person and showing them that you care, giving them solutions way ahead of asking for a sale, the easier it's going to be in the long run for them when you have that conversation of, hey, do you want to work together, or do you want to join the next Atlas program, or whatever it is you do? And they won't get sticker shock. Even if they see it and they say, wow, $5,000 or whatever, but you've already helped them. You've already demonstrated. And it took you long to ask for that in the first place. You ever get these DMs from people almost every day where they're saying, "Hey, I can help you." They cold DM you and they give you this thing, and let me shoot you a video of how this can help you and all this other stuff. They're trying to build the bond and reputation immediately. This is what that's being taught out there, and it doesn't work. Okay, it might work for one or two people, but it really doesn't work for heart-centered people like us. And that's not how you get the most, not to be the most expensive and premium offers. Okay, that's not how you get there. So I'm gonna go back to some stuff here from the someone has to be the most expensive. This is another one. Again, I talked about extraordinary experiences. I talked about developing a two-way loyalty flow between customers and clients. And I want to add to this. This is a conversation. You have to open up conversations between you and the potential client. And again, we're not talking about sales conversations. We're talking about real human one-on-one conversations. How are things going? What are you challenging with? And helping them move along the belief path of what they need to believe in order to buy from you in the first place. This is a lot of places where people drop off. They want to try to sell something right away, and you're just being a commodity just like everybody else. So you don't want that. Okay. Working harder is not the answer. Working smarter and charging appropriately for your value is key. This is again from the book. And I want to go back to the $100 million offers. I'm switching back and forth between the books. So if you want customers to achieve the results, they need to be invested, period. I have both of my products, or both of my offers are high end, if you want to call it. Right. So there's a $4,500 product, and then there's a $7,500 product right now, or situation program right now. And people ask me all the time, like, can I get in and check it out? Can I test it out? Can I do this? And that's not how it works. The more invested your client is, the more the work they will do. Ask yourself, like, how many things have you invested in that were free? Okay. And you really didn't put the effort in, but then you put you put some hard-earned money into something and you actually put the work in. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So I want you to focus in on the high end client who is looking for something extremely different than anything out there. When you position as a premium price point, you got to enhance your offer through these four things: scarcity, or maybe one or all of these four things. Scarcity, which is limited supply. And I'm talking about real limited supply. I'm not talking about the digital, hey, we have a digital product and there's only 5 left. Come on, like, we all know the truth. But if it's a live cohort or something where you are only allowing 10 people in, first of all, only allow 10 people in and close the doors. That's real scarcity. You can continue to do it later on, but have real scarcity. The other one is urgency, time-based incentives, which is what I just said. Maybe the cohort is starting off with, it's starting off in a couple of weeks. You have to get in now for 10. And if you have, or you're going to have to wait until, the next cohort comes in. Strong guarantees. I'm a big fan of guarantees. And I still find it hard to believe that people don't want to guarantee their work, don't want to guarantee what they're doing. If you can't guarantee, and I'm talking about a guarantee where this is going to help you and you are going to see how it helps you, or even better, it will help you. You'll see at the end of this, but you will see the potential in this. And then if you don't see the potential of this, then I will give you back all your money, type of thing. I'm a huge fan of this, because if I oversell you on something and it doesn't work for you, or you don't see the potential of how it's going to work for you, I have not done my job right. It's not your fault. It's not the customer's fault. Right? It's in my opinion, it's always the marketer's fault. If the marketer is over promising and getting all kinds of people in and getting all kinds of refunds, that's their fault. It's our fault. So it's the same thing with me. So if I'm going to guarantee something, I'm going to make darn sure that it's going to be the best it can be. And yes, it won't work 100% of the time for everybody. There's always going to be something it doesn't work for, but I'm always focused on the front end of things to make sure I'm bringing in the right people. All right. So second of all, or lastly of all, I don't know. let me actually share my iPad with you and show you why the Ascension model, or the value ladder, whatever you're used to hearing, doesn't work when it comes to this. Okay. I am going to draw out a simple scenario here. So let's just do this line here. Okay. And we have your $97 product. We have your $297 product, which brings up the value ladder, right? Then we have your $497 product, and that increases a little bit more. And then we have $997, brings it up a little bit more. And then we have your $1997, and we'll just stop there, okay? So this one here is your high dollar, right? It's your high ticket, your premium. And the belief is that you sell a $97 product and then you move them into this one, and then you move them into this one, and then you move them into this one, and finally into this one. Now, let's say that all things being equal, that it takes you 3 months to sell this person, right? Marketing, they opt into your funnel or they get into your email list or whatever it is, okay? It takes you 3 months to get this person. And they buy. And we're just going to use one person as an example. You can multiply this however you want, but it's 3 months to get this $97 sale. And let's say that it takes another 3 months for that person to upgrade, to get to the $297. And again, 3 more months to buy the $497 product, and 3 months more to buy the $997 product. And finally, 3 months to buy the $1997 product. You're thinking, okay, cool, right? So this is what I call, down here, units of time. And it actually is, right? These are all units of time. And if you notice, these ones here, let me do another color. These ones here, units of time, equals 1 year. Actually 12 months, okay? It took you 12 months to sell someone from $97, right here, $97 to $997. And guess what? If you do the math, I hope my math is right. I'm going to try and do it live on camera here. But this 12 months of time equals 1887. Okay? One person. Now you can multiply. You can have 2, 3, 10, doesn't matter. But if all things being equal, you spent 1 year. Where are we here? Right here. You spent 1 year to get 1887. Now imagine if you spent the exact same time, 1 year, to get someone to buy 1997. You would still make more money. It would take you the entire year with no sales whatsoever. However, you made more money with the one sale of the premium offer. Do you see what I'm talking about? Now, it's the same thing if you look at it from any other angle. If you look at it from the angle of, okay, well, it took me 3 months to get this person, and if you spent the same 3 months focused on the premium client, the same 3 months, you would make $1997. So $1,000 or $1,900 more in the same amount of time, the same units of time. Is this making sense? The same amount of time. That's why I'm saying that if you're going after a $50 customer, it's the same time. It's the same type of marketing. Well, the messaging is going to be different because it's a different customer. However, it's the same time and effort to get the $1,000 customer, right? That's why I'm just proving this to you right here. This is what opened my eyes. So this might seem, this whole process down here, let me actually clear some of this out. Okay. So this process down here, going from here to here, might seem like it's easier, or that you are in momentum and you're doing something. And let's be true. Like that is it like you're actually selling something every 3 months in this case. But is it really worth it? So you're spending an entire year to make $1,800, and then you can spend the entire year exactly for the one customer to get $1997. You see what I'm talking about? So this is why this breaks for me. So then the question comes into play. Well, Joey, what about all the people who can't afford my $1997? What are the people? I want to use those other products, the lower dollar products, for people who can't afford the $1997, right? The $2,000. Here's my answer. My answer is that when you have a healthy business, when you're selling a $2,000 product to less people, guess what you buy back? You buy back your time, because don't forget that a lot of people don't talk about this. They like to sell this whole thing, but what they don't talk about is how much complexity, let's go back to this one, how much complexity all of this has. All of this is complex because it's a different product, it's different marketing, there's more products that you have to put into Kajabi or wherever you're putting this in. All of that is complexity. And so for everything that you do, every step, every product that you have, everything that you add complexity to your business. So what I'm suggesting is that you remove the complexity, you simplify, right? You simplify, you focus on the premium offer, and then all these products that you are going to create, or that you have, you can now turn those into gifts. I like to call them gifts instead of lead magnets, because lead magnet just doesn't resonate with me as much. But you can turn now all of that product into gifts. You don't have to worry about marketing it. You can use it to still bring someone into your world, and maybe they will ascend to your $2,000 product, but you're no longer worried about selling those things individually, doing webinars, having offers, discounts, and bonuses, and all these things on top of it, when you can just focus in on that final premium person right here. I'm hoping this helped you out. I hope it gave you a new insight into that you're worth it, and there are premium clients out there looking for you. You just have to market to them differently. You have to speak to them differently, and this is what it's all about, is understanding who the market is and what you actually serve. If you're serving surface level stuff, you're going to get surface level people who are always going to ask discounts and are not willing to pay anywhere over $100 or something like that, right? They're not willing to do that because you're putting yourself in the same area, the same arena as everyone else. A premium level, right away, it eliminates, it moves you out of the noise, and people will look at you differently. Now, you still have to do a little bit of work there, but I'm hoping that this gave you a new insight on why it's valuable for you to raise your price. Let me know in the chat if this helped you. If you're watching on the replay, #replay or #live, I will see you next week for another show on Heart-Centered Marketing. Take care.